pension fund to hand that over to his pal, Shaguri. Now, whichever part of the road is constructed, a toll gate or two tolls or whatever will be put on them, on that road. And guess what? The document is going to show that Shaguri, high-tech, they use 50% of their money to build the road. You will be alive to witness that. If Tinubu want to steal 20 trillion naira pension fund, and he's going to hand 75 to 80% of that to his pal. Hey. For you to even plan is like you want to go and rob a bank or you want to go and do that. But that won't take a lot of job. But this one is like an easy job. Easy. Let them continue to some now. Me, telling you all of this, I am crying. Let them continue to cry. Tinubu will build the road. I'm trying to kind of see if I can find the right word to explain what this means in the long run. If he ever succeed in taking a penny from the pension fund, I don't have any word to describe what it's going to be like without sending some old people into a panic right now. But it is very, very concerning. And this is another one. Like many other things that has, been affecting or, many of their policies that has been affecting and touching every one of you, this one is like going for the jugular. It is. And for those who know Tinubu very well, I remember he once told the pensioners in Lagos when they said they were going to picket his office, but they did picket his office. When he finally showed up and to speak to them, he told them that he didn't understand why they are so angry that they have not been paid pensions. And they can tell that the whole state is struggling. They are yet to even pay those who are alive. And those who are already, those who are near their graves are protesting that they were not paid. Tinubu told pensioners that was how cruel. Even though he was younger than this then, well, all of you are about to find out how they built Lagos. Okay? But it's just that by the time they are done, there will be no pension fund anymore. There will be no foreign reserve. There will be no salary to pay you. Because around that time, you see the inflation that you have. Again, may not sound like, say, person they kind of exaggerate. The type of inflation you have, right, will be nothing compared to it in any part of the world. Nigeria is unreal, okay? And this afternoon, when one of my callers was talking about the education of the Southwesterners, felt good. And I'm glad that that person kind of probably be second to the last generation of those who saw how everything declined. And then since then, it has been a spiral downward. They adulterated our education. They destroyed it totally. Now we are producing unemployed and unemployable people. There's difference between now, okay, you don't get job or you're unemployed. Baba. At least person we no get job, is unemployed. There is hope if you have skill, if you have what it takes, that there's a chance that you're going to get job eventually. That means you are employable. Right now in Yoruba land, where you are supposed to see educated people, educated people, It has already been shattered. Go and listen to them. Go and listen to some of them. Will tell you they are graduate this, graduate that. Are you not even seeing them in the public office too? Politicians, are you not seeing them? Once by education, they've destroyed it. And that is why somebody will be like, it is just, they say, inflation in Nigeria is now 34%. Too. 34% is not bad. Government just need to work hard. Government just need to work hard and make sure they do something. Food inflation in Nigeria is now over 40%. Oh. 40%. Well, anyway, government just need to, we need to, they will begin to speak grammar. Baba, do you know a poll conducted in America this past week? 61% of Americans that were polled, they all said Joe Biden is the worst president in America history. I mean, American history in the last 72 years is the worst. Only 39% felt like, no, he's not. He's doing well. Guess what? In America, inflation in America right now is 3%. Unemployment in America right now is less than 4%. And Americans believe Joe Biden is the worst when it comes to job, when it comes to the economy, when it comes to immigration, all those. So they just 61%. And you will see Nigerians among those, all these Nigerian Americans, all those ones will be patriotic Nigerians abroad. They too, they are there. Yeah, I've been in America for the past 25 years. Joe Biden is a worse. Somebody will come from Nigeria. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, America, there are single digits of unemployment, single digits of inflation. They call their president the worst. Okay? Nigeria, who have 34% inflation, 40% food inflation, 50% unemployment rate. Their president is telling them that he is renewing their hope. Nigeria, that has no single border. Somebody was talking about border earlier today as well. Nigeria, that has no single border. You can walk in, walk out anytime. Yes, you can. Nigeria, that has no clear pathway to citizenship. Like the African Wahala said today, you could walk straight into any local government area, pay the right money, know few information about the area you want to be a citizen of. And they will give you a indigenous certificate that you can use in getting passports. So all these forest place and all that is somewhere that somebody in America, somebody in Canada, some of you in the UK, you are telling people to give them time. It takes time to do this or that. And yet, wherever you are, that you are kind of holed up right now, you are among those who probably feels like things are supposed to be better than what they are right now there, even though you seem to have everything. Right? That's called witchcraft. That's what people called it, witchcraft. So when Wale Edun was held, in order to further deceive the gullibles, the sophisticated morons, the voluntary slaves, they then came out and said, Tinubu, consumer credit. Consumer credit. What is consumer credit? Oh, yeah, you can just go and borrow money to buy a car. You don't have to pay for everything. You can just go and borrow money and buy a house. Your credit will do blah, 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 blah for you. Yeah, Tinubu's government is planning credit. Man, this is going to be great. So does that mean that I can now just get a contract phone? Does that mean that I can now just get every one of them? They are making themselves feel good on Twitter then, right? All these sabobakus. But the basic thing is that there is absolutely nothing on ground to say, you that cannot afford food, A lot of people can no longer afford basic needs. You see, some critical manufacturers or manufacturers in your manufacturing sector, they are folding up and they are packing away and leaving the country because you cannot even afford to buy your anything anymore. Now that you can consumer credits. They are waiting for consumer credit so that we can be like America. We don't have to use all our money to buy things. We just take credit. Tinubu is bringing consumer. Consumer credit when you lose. You know, consumer credit is for the purpose, for the jobless, for the economy where, oh my God. I said it that time, but they thought I was bad belly. Because they were telling them things that makes them feel like, oh yeah, that's good. I can't wait. Papa, you don't even get job. You don't even get job. They are not creating jobs. But they said that we are doing consumer credit. Another one. Oh, mortgage. Tinubu is bringing mortgage system. Papa, you don't even get money for rent. You just cut. But yeah, with your Chinko phone, you are well done. Great idea. A house they know they build. You don't see any house. You can say, okay, there's a housing system in Nigeria called that you can say, okay, you are going to become homeowners. Yeah, mortgage. I'll show you one of them here. He said this one yesterday.
Low interest rates. I mean, where we are now, interest rates are elevated. Clearly, they are not the kind of rates that someone who is trying to pay a mortgage and trying to pay for the purchase of a house can afford, both in terms of the tenor of the money and the rate. We're talking about, give or take, 12%. I would say give or take 12% should be the target that we aim at, something that's affordable. And it will take the creativity of the whole, all the stakeholders, government, the private sector, Federal Housing Authority, Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, Federal Mortgage Bank, as I said before, Ministry of Finance Incorporated, the pension funds, the investment funds, the insurance funds of life, the long-term pools of money for life insurance investments. The whole ecosystem will need to come together to really get the housing sector going through affordability of housing. All the other ingredients are there in this country. So it's a veritable area for value-added employment and growth of the economy. Ruth, it's when you say what type of funding will it be, clearly it is in the main part debt funding. And what it is, there will be intermediation. And when I say intermediation, I mean there will be a passing. So the long-term funds that is in the hands of the institutional investors will be made available through vehicles, probably through the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, or for mortgages, and through the National Sovereign Investment Authority for housing construction. Their expertise is in these areas, and so it is debt financing, and there will be multiple vehicles that are used. As for CNG buses, the infrastructure is being rolled out. At the moment, there is already an initiative, and I did have the privilege and the opportunity just last Friday to be at a assembly plant for production, assembling from semi-knockdown parts, assembly of mass transit CNG buses, and it's actually bi-fuel. It can run, these can run on petrol, and they can run on CNG. The issue is that CNG is almost between 25 and maybe 30% cheaper, and that's a veritable saving for all those that, and so that will be reflected, of course, in transport costs and, of course, the affordability for people who even drive themselves. And as for Kunle Business Day, the procurement is on. 600 buses are on their way, and as I said, they are not all to be purchased fully built. There's also a large portion that all the assemblers that are available in Nigeria have been given business, they've been given orders. Also, there are about 30,000 conversion kits coming in. There's no policy of, in fact, it's the opposite. The policy, as was announced by the Honourable Minister for Information, is that not only is the intervention to bring down fares and cost of transportation and therefore cost of living for Nigerians as a whole through the government's presidential compressed natural gas initiative, but now it is a government procurement policy. And I don't think we have to look far or examine in detail before we can see the opportunity that this now gives in Nigeria across the whole value chain. Thank you.
Well, there was a question about charging points. The man from Radio Nigeria.
Radio Nigeria. Yes, sorry, I abbreviated, trying to save your time as much as anybody. I abbreviated by talking about infrastructure. Of course, infrastructure includes charging points. And I must say this also, at the same time, the attempt is being made to move to electric vehicles. So the infrastructure for electric vehicles, charging points, it's a business. If you set up charging points, people will come and patronize you. Similarly, there is a rollout, and I'm sure it will be announced this month, there is a rollout of infrastructure, of places where that are being tooled at the moment so that they can refuel CNG. And of course, as I said earlier, there's the opportunity. There are 30,000 conversion kits coming in. That's through the government initiative. And any private sector person that is enterprising can also bring their own. You can convert Keke Marwa, you can convert buses, you can convert cars to CNG. You just put the fuel, they put the tank in the boot, and you are virtually ready to go once they've wired it up. So it is a huge opportunity, and it's a decisive move, even for climate change. And there are benefits to be had there, enormous economic benefits to be had. All around the world, the biggest funding available is for anything to do with climate change, climate adaptation, protecting the environment, transiting from fossil fuels, transiting away from diesel and petrol. And we are definitely on that track, and we will make use of every opportunity, and we will seek out all the options there are for capturing carbon credits and putting them into the market and be low interest rate.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
Those were supposed to be our educated Southwesterner. Abi? I am a Yoruba man. And I can tell you this free of charge. Where the real Yorubas, standard Yorubas, are put on display. People like Wale Edun Kadoso, they would never have any access to such a gathering. Nibo, Sibo. Tinubu brought them, used them for his own political advancement. They were those who helped him to solidify the crime they committed in Lagos. These guys were chancers. These ones are chancers. Sit them down and ask them questions. And you know something let me tell you something about Nigerians. In case if you haven't really discovered that. There are Nigerians, okay, who have sort of hacked the idea of amassing what you can call international educational certificates. Because in Nigeria, if you tell them that you went to, I went to Dogbolu Grammar School, Dogbolu Muslim Primary School, Dogbolu. I went to Dogbolu Grammar School. So I went to Olabisi Onabanjo University, OAU, for my first degree. Then I went for my master's at Obafemi Awolowo University. Oh, I did my PhD somewhere in Nigerian University, Nsukka. It's still like, no, you are just Nigerian trained. But just tell them that you went to Arigidi Primary School, Arigidi Akoko, Ondo. And then you went to Arigidi Secondary School, Arigidi Akoko, Ondo. And then you went to Harvard Economic School. Doesn't matter if you just went to that Harvard for 2 weeks. Just say you went to Harvard Economic School. And every publication, every printout, every mention of your name, you have to remind them you went to Harvard Economic School. I went to Harvard Economic School for this. Because you see, in Nigeria, when we were younger, you know those who were doing banking jobs in Nigeria, Polytechnic students, ND, HND, they were those who are readily available to be bankers. When you have a degree, no, you don't want to work in a bank. But over the years, the bankers became the big deal when democracy came and they had to get involved in money laundering money for criminal politicians. They make so much money. And a lot of them became somebody too, including majority that can never really stand any test of time. Criminals. Wale Edu is one of them. Kadobi is one of them. They are Yorubas, but they are the worst of the Yorubas. Take a look at their antecedents. You know what they would do? They went to Harvard. They went to Cambridge. Meanwhile, they just went there to do 2 weeks or 3 weeks weekend course or summer courses. So, but they print it boldly on every paper. Anytime you say that, do you know who you're talking to? I am a former commissioner for finance, Lagos State. Oh, really? I am also the founder, because they were also able to kind of set up their own SPV companies, which then make them consultants about GPT. You know that, right? Like you are in government, and the job of those in government is to do the job of fixing the country or the state. Then you switch over and just say, you know what, we need a consultant. They are appointed the government, and they started opening their CV so those consultants can come and do what they were paid to do or appointed to do. Over time, they've kind of, some of them have written books. You know, say that, you know, they take before they write books. And their book, they will say they were doing book launch. Just so they make themselves look like intellectuals, intelligent people. But when you really, really look into them, if not for Nigeria, these are a bunch of misfits, low lives that can never be allowed to manage ordinary face me, I face you, renters association in your compound. They cannot be allowed. But they put on suit. The druggie who run Lagos has given them appointment. They've traveled all over the world. They've gone there to go and get all those bogus fake certificate, degrees, this and that all over the world, so that they can appear to be somebody who is so educated. But listen to them. They will say a lot without saying anything. There is no investment in power generation or distribution in Nigeria. When these criminals came in 2015, Nigeria was generating over 8,000 megawatts of electricity, distributing back then over 4,000 megawatts electricity. then the rest is waste. Then these criminals came in just last week. They were bragging that Nigeria is now generating 5,000 megawatts of electricity. Ah,